Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to part 3 of this four-part episode or segment where we're looking at all of Series 13 of the Major Bendy's Big Rubber Guys. And I might keep calling it Series 13, and I could be wrong. So I'm filming all 4 of these episodes, obviously back-to-back, and I'll post them on separate days. So anyone just tuning in for this episode for the first time, that's what's going on right now. So far, we've taken a look at the blue model Rick Martel, and we've also looked at member number 1 from the Brainbusters, Tully Blanchard. Today we're going to look at his tag team partner, which is Arn Anderson, obviously most famous in WCW, NWA days, right? Among being one of the key members of the Four Horsemen. So, I said in the last video, you had the Tully Blanchard figure inside, but you had the Arn Anderson insert. Is that error going to be fixed? And everyone that got that error today, maybe they got something rare that 10, 15, 20 years from now, it could be valuable? I don't think so. I highly doubt Major Bendy's is going to foot the bill to switch out a single insert, right? But look at the back of the card. We've already discussed, series 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 was these 3. And these 2 was Series 6. Series 8, these 4. I think this is all Series 9 right here. Series 10. I'm classifying these guys as Series 10, but they're exclusives. I'm calling these guys all Series 11. And for now, I'm going to say that this right here is Series 12. But that's not true either, because Series 12 was the 3 members of Demolition. So, I mean, is it Series 13? God, I really wish that Major Bendy's would come out with a legitimate breakdown of each series. You can find that online, but the problem is they have, okay, this is Series 1, 5, 10, etc. But they also have like all these additional figures as exclusives. They don't break them down any further than exclusives, and I don't like that, because I want them all to fall into a general series release. Now, is Mailway Hogan, Mailway Undertaker, Mailway Bret Hart from Hasbro, are those fallen into any particular series? No, but they're mailways, so you could say 94 figures, or you could say 97 to include the mailways, right? I don't like that these exclusives exist outside of the quote mailaway forum. And when you got so many, it's not like you got special 1, 2, or 3 figures. There's a ton. But let's dive into the Brainbusters tag team. Again, Tully Blanchard last video. Today, Arn Anderson. So, first observation. He's definitely got like, hey, I'm the bad guy type of look to him, right? Like he is the enforcer that he is supposed to be. Play pose isn't bad. It's not something as a kid I would want to play with if I were like 5, 8 years old, 10 years old, whatever, and I was playing wrestling figures or however you describe it, right? So, not a huge fan of that. From an aesthetic standpoint, from a sculpture, from a statue standpoint, for display purposes, this is fantastic. Like, this is a true work of art. And he actually looks like Arn Anderson. Does he have the bald spot? It would be funny if, like, they send out, let's say out of 500 orders, they send out like 50 figures where he actually does have a bald spot. And then that becomes the big go-to must-have item from this particular line. Because we're not talking 20 years from now. We're talking literally right now. That $50 figure would probably turn into like $300 to $500 on eBay. Just because you gotta have the variant. But, so, good head sculpt. I would have preferred the bald spot, but this is serviceable. Same thing like with Tully Blanchard. When you look at his chest and stomach, right, it's like the George Steele LJN, like the little skin tags that they give him. which is supposed to represent body hair. It's not as pronounced as that on a George Steele, but you're not just painting in, chest hair. You're not just taking a marker, putting a bunch of dots on there and calling that chest hair. This is legitimate built-in hair, which is fantastic. I just wish that it would be a little bit more authentic. Like they would give it color, make it black. Because right now it just peach hair on a peach body. That's what it looks like. So, I mean, it's noticeable when you look at it, but if I was showing this to you like so, would anybody be able to see this? If I had it way back here, can anybody make that out? You literally got to be like right on top of it to actually see the hair that's on the body, right? But once again, just like Tully Blanchard had a TB, Arn Anderson, AA, boots, everything already sharp. We already know that the Brainbusters, I mean, this has been a tag team that a lot of people have been asking for, customization or otherwise. So having a legitimate company like a Major Bendy's, Major Wrestling Figure Podcast guys, come out with something like this, incredible. I still thought maybe the Rick Martel was going to be the highlight of this collection, but so far, I'm thinking Tully Blanchard might actually be my favorite. But like I said, this is a serviceable piece. Let me go back and forth, man. Like, okay, like I don't know, man. Like, like you give him a headlock and you punch him in the face or something. I don't know. I'm trying to look. Anytime I do a review, I try to look at this from the perspective of how would I play with this if I were, 5 years old and these were like 1990s Hasbros, for example. Maybe do like a backdrop or something. So, I mean, obviously, this is like perfect. That is, so, I mean, it does have its serviceability, man. I mean, it doesn't give you the best body slam, but if I were a kid, I could make use out of it. And that's the fun thing about being a collector nowadays, because you're not really messing around with these like you would as a kid. I always identify these as pieces of art. You go into a museum, you see this painting or this picture, that is art. This sculpture is an art. This is a sculpture. I mean, it's a little 8-inch sculpture, but it's a sculpture nonetheless. And for those collectors out there who have kids, who are those going to be passed down to? Those kids are going to grow up and enjoy them and have this awesome collection, right? And I'm sure there are plenty of people buying these, for their kids now, so that they can have the same experience and feel of like an LJN type figure that they had when they were, 8 years old in 1984, 1985, etc. I wasn't born in 84, and by time LGNs ended in 89 with Grand Toys, I mean, 4 years old, it would have been something I had. So I was real lucky to get like Hasbros and Galoobs in 1990 when we did. So I am going to go back to my special utensil here. All right, so it is fine. I got to use a darn magnifying glass because this stuff is so small. So it just simply says television heavyweight wrestling champion. I think that's the same thing that goes on the... No, that's TNA. You got the big gold. I'm trying to look around. I thought there were more championship belts than that. Anyway, no biggie. So this is a television heavyweight champion. The only thing I probably would have liked, and to the best of my knowledge, I don't think Brainbusters won a tag team title in WWF. So that's probably explains to you why they don't have tag team titles, why both figures hold two completely different titles. So I'm liking that that Major Bendy's is going outside of WWF. They're going to the NWA. They're going into like AWA stuff and these other territories, and they're picking belts that they had actually won at some point, regardless of promotion. So this right here, this NWA belt, that is incredible. Actually, I might actually prefer the red championship belt to the yellow championship belt. Only downside, red on red, it doesn't really offset. At least the yellow on red, you see a little bit of that color change. But Brainbusters. Guys, that is it for part 3 of these reviews. Tomorrow we're going to come back with Missy Hyatt, and we're going to close out the 4-chapter segment of this Big Rubber Guys review video. And several days ago, I reached out to a content creator on YouTube, and I posed a particular question. Hopefully on his next Q&A video, he'll answer the question. And I was thinking about that question long and hard, and I'm like, you know what? For years, I've been talking about this particular subject, and I really didn't know how to break it down. So after tomorrow's video, after the Missy Hyatt video, stay tuned for a special video regarding the LGNs, because I have a particular question. I don't want to do a poll on it. I don't want to do it during a live stream. I'll do a regular video, and you guys can help me determine the breakdown. So if you don't understand what I mean, check in a couple days. You will definitely understand where I'm going at with that particular topic. So that one should be a fun one. And we're going to look at a bunch of my loose figures from that collection, so that's always fun, right? But that's it for now, guys. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to check me out tomorrow with the last figure. And until then, guys, take care, everybody.